So let's get started. Let's welcome Mary Tiemann today. She is a TAN member and our speaker today. Mary is the Community Relations and Membership Development Director for the New Mexico Tech Council. Prior to her role there, Mary was Executive Director for the Sierra Vista, Arizona Chamber of Commerce and served on the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act Board of Directors there. Mary's going to talk to us today about using technology to improve our businesses and gain competitive advantages. And Mary, you can take it away. You've got about 45, 50 minutes. That'll leave plenty of time for questions at the end. And if we have some extra time, since it looks like it's all 10 members here, we might just do some announcements as well. So Mary, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Kelly. And I don't know that I need 45 minutes, but I will certainly, we'll take as much time as we need there for sure. But is it okay? I have a slide presentation, Kelly. Can I share that? Okay.
You should be able to share. That option should be available to you. If not, I will make you the co-host. Oh, there you go. You got it.
Well, can you see my slide presentation or?
Yep.
Okay. From the beginning, huh? Okay. Well, I can't actually see my slide presentation now.
Oh, that's interesting. I can see it.
Okay, great.
I think everybody else can see it too, so.
All right, well, perfect. Well, I will look at it on my screen then. So using technology, great. Well, so again, thank you, Kelly. Again, I'm Mary Tiemann. I joined TAN a few months ago. Thank you very much, Fiona, for that suggestion. I feel like I haven't been a really great TAN member because I haven't been able to attend the meetings. I think I have met most everyone who's on the call today, but I'm excited to, as the new year starts, to get back involved. And I'm thrilled today to share some information that I've kind of put together using technology, which is the business that I represent, to kind of grow your business. And so hopefully you will take away some tips from that today. So I first want to say, while I work for the Technology Council, I'm not a technology expert, okay? So there are plenty of them in different fields. I can make suggestions, but I do understand some of the technology trends. And so my job is to really connect people to those resources, and that can help with the success in your business. So in no way am I endorsing any of the products or tools that I'm mentioning here. I might mention ones that I use that maybe are my favorites, but I suggest you do your research, determine what fits your business needs. So I want to just start out with the definition of technology. Did the slides, did they advance, Kelly? Okay, all right, perfect. All right, so Webster's defines technology for us. Okay, so science or knowledge put into practical use to solve problems or invent useful tools. Okay, so an example is the internet. And I bet everyone's probably been on the internet at some point already today, right? I would think. Okay, yeah.
We're on it right now.
Exactly. So the internet provides us with up-to-date information. It's at our fingertips. We know what's going on immediately everywhere around the world. So this will kind of show a little bit of how geeky I am with data, but I did want to share some statistics that I thought were kind of interesting. So yeah, by the time I introduced myself and I went through the first two slides, technology had already changed at some level. It's already advanced somewhere. So it's changing that rapidly. But here's some statistics that I wanted to share. So by the year 2025, 38.6 billion smart devices will be collecting, analyzing, and sharing data. I don't know how many of you have your refrigerator connected to the internet or your toaster, but interesting statistics there. Web hosting services, that is expected to reach $267 billion in the year 2028. That's at 84 billion now. So that's going to be a huge increase. 70% of all tech spending is expected to go for cloud solutions. There are 1.35 million tech startup companies. The global AI market is expected to reach 89 billion, and the big data market revenue for software and services is expected to reach $103 billion by the year 2027. Technology stayed strong through the pandemic. It continues to stay strong. There's a lot of opportunities for high-paying, well-paying jobs in technology, and there's a huge need for that. So a lot of focus on STEM education and growing our own workforce. So yeah, technology has definitely changed the way we meet. We're meeting today using technology, the way we manage our banking. When was the last time you walked into a bank? I mean, you can deposit a check using your phone. The way we attend doctor's appointments. Smart cities technology is helping cities. The public works department knows when a street light goes out immediately. They know it's out. 3D printing has changed the way manufacturing is being done forever. I recently saw a presentation where from a doctor at UNM who uses 3D printing for prosthetic limbs in pediatrics. So fascinating. Again, our toasters, our fridges, they're connected to the internet. Alexa will play our favorite song on demand. Does anybody remember the Britannica Encyclopedia? So I remember the days when we wrote letters. We put them in an envelope, we put a stamp on it. 2 weeks later, we might get a reply. And then what happened to sending cards? So yeah, happy birthday. Now you get a text or you get a message in Facebook. And that's, technology has changed the way we even say happy birthday. So I still send cards though, just so you guys know, I still love getting cards and I still send cards, including Christmas cards. So I love cards. Whether we like it or not, in order for our business to stay competitive, you have to embrace technology at some level, right? So I've put together 8 ways, and I want this to be interactive. There's plenty of opportunity for you to jump in. I'll ask questions. But here are 8 ways that you could use technology to help manage your business, which is going to increase your productivity. So social media, apps, analytical tools, and then they can help, data can help you make more informed decisions. Your data can be stored in the cloud, stronger marketing campaigns, effortless communication, and of course, web-based payments. So the first slide is about social media. However you feel about social media, I bet many of you are already using social media, but here's some ways that social media could increase your business. So it could increase your leads for sure. And I bet Fiona could talk about that because I know she uses social media for leads quite often. What's your favorite platform, Fiona?
It'd be LinkedIn. I went from 30 contacts to almost 2,500 from March till now. And
we're connected on social media.
Pardon?
We're connected on social media.
Social media is awesome though. It helps a lot. I have people contacting me all the time related to either business or networking tools or where they can find things. And you can also tell enough about yourself so you can become a trusted advisor through social media, which is good.
That's really good. That is good. You hit that right on. So according to Social Media Examiner in 2017, this data is using data. I told you I'm a data geek. So in 2017, the report showed that 65% of small businesses were using social media to increase their leads. So, and I'm sure that's just, it's just grown. So other things that social media can do for your business is improve your search engine ranking, which is important, and then drive traffic. If you're still in a brick and mortar, then that can drive traffic to your actual location, or most of us are working in a remote environment these days. which means it's even more important to have a great website. I don't know if Allison is on today. And Kelly, I know you work in conjunction helping with that website development. So, so social media can certainly drive that traffic to what is your front door, your website these days. So with so many people working remotely and from home. So keep an eye on your competitors. You can use social media to know what your competitors are. You should know what your competitors are. You should be paying attention to that. I think that's key. And then develop trust with your customers. I mean, we talk about trust all the time in this group. Social media can help you gain that trust with your customers and clients, and create brand recognition, and also establish a brand as a topical authority. People love to do business with the #1, website developer, right? So, and then maximize conversations. So I would be curious if anyone would share a benefit that they found using social media. And thank you very much, Fiona, for doing that. If anyone else has a tip that they'd like to share. Has anyone
social media helps me keep in touch with people and knowing what is going on in their lives without having to actually text them or talk to them or email them.
That is true. There are some family members
and vice versa, right?
I love that, Kelly. There are some customers and clients maybe too that it's good just to know what they're doing, and keeping up with them on maybe Facebook or something is a good way to keep connected, but you don't have to talk to them every day, right? Mm-hmm. So I would just be curious if anyone's ever used Facebook Live.
Nope, yeah. Regular Facebook, but not Facebook Live.
Have you, Kelly?
I'm sorry, you cut out, Mary.
Oh, have you ever used Facebook Live, Kelly?
I've participated in Facebook Live events, which were a lot more prominent during lockdown than they are now. They sort of have faded, but they are a great way to engage people in real time.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was great. We did a Facebook Live at the Tech Council during the pandemic because we were just, we were eager to get out, and we did a Facebook Live at the IoT boot camp at CNM. They were looking to increase their students, and they just felt like that would be a great way to partner and for more people to know about the class there. And it was very helpful. I think the key, we took away some keys. I think some things we could have done differently. I think we let it run a little too long. I think when you're doing Facebook Live, you need to have a time, and it needs to be targeted, and you need to because people lose interest, right? No one wants to sit and watch Facebook Live for an hour, right? So those are some social media tools that you're probably already using to help promote your business. And then some other tools or apps. And here are some popular apps that folks are using. I don't know if any of you are using Slack or Trello. Anyone using those tools? Yeah, we have a Slack channel. We have a couple of Slack channels at the Tech Council. It's just a really great way, another way, I was going to say there's so many ways, to share information, connect with folks. Basecamp is actually a app that allows you to do like online collaboration. You can discuss projects. It's almost like you can have a meeting within Baseline and share the documents. Slack does the same thing. So those are just some apps that you can use that will help increase productivity, or even in organizations. So I belong to some other Slack channels, as they say, and it's just another tool for communicating. Just one more thing that you need to check from time to time, but those are some tools. I wanted to share a few years ago when I first started the Tech Council, which has been 2.5 years now. I had an opportunity to be a judge for the UNM CNM app contest. And I really I had such an appreciation for what goes into the thought and development of an app. I don't look at any app on my phone. I look at them all differently now because I think about the thought process. And these were students who were developing solutions, and we were judging them on the need for that particular solution, whether it was veteran services or how to get to the bus, how the buses could be more efficient. But they had a number of things that they developed, and they developed them as teams. So does anyone use any apps other than maybe the ones that were mentioned here?
Yeah, Mary, I've played around a little bit with Trello and Asana, but Joe Binder over in Arizona, TAM member, just introduced me to something called Notion, NOTION.io. And it is a very simple database program that could be used in almost any application. And it's very easy to use. I mean, even I could figure it out. And it's good for collaboration. You can have various members on it. And I think it's a lot easier. I was trying to use Asana, but I think this is a lot easier.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I will definitely check into that one too. Anyone else using apps that they might want to share?
I mean, I use banking apps, I use credit card apps, I use calendar apps. Jonathan put in the chat that he uses Calendly. I use something called Time Trade.
Oh, yeah.
So I can fill out when I'm available, send the link to someone, they can pick their own time, and it adds to my calendar.
Oh, I
So.
love that. I absolutely love that. I love when people can send me their calendar, and instead of going back and forth trying to find a time. I love that. I love that app. So, well, those are some apps to check out, and of course, check out the other ones that were mentioned as well. So, analytics tools. I mean, this is so, I'm sure you've probably heard knowledge is power, and if you have applied knowledge, you're even more powerful. So what can analytics do for your business, right? So there are numerous analytics tools. I may have suggested a few here, but there are numerous ones. And they can determine the strengths and the weaknesses in your business and measure your key performance indicators. Really, the sky is the limit on collecting data and how you would use it and what is useful for you. Some of them have a fee. So, do your research and figure out which one is the best fit for what you're trying to, accomplish. But so Google Data Studio, and then Google BigQuery, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Power Business Intelligence, and Locker. We have a data team that meets monthly and talks about, collecting data, analyzing data, the latest trends in data at the Tech Council. So I am kind of a data geek. So anyone else using any tools to collect data that might be helpful for the rest of the group here?
If you use a program like MailChimp or Constant Contact to manage your newsletter or email distributions, they have great analytic tools built right into them.
I really do. I agree.
And we use something called CallRails so we can analyze the type of calls that come in.
Very nice.
CallRail, yeah. Sorry, you cut out.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. Well, technology, guys, what can I say? It only happens when I use Zoom. When I use Teams, it's fine. For whatever reason, when I use Zoom, the microphone cuts in and out. It is quite frustrating. So of course, collecting that data, it will help you make stronger decisions. So maybe these are some of the reasons you may want to look at collecting data, using MailChimp or any of those others that you mentioned there, Kelly. Like data can help you set realistic goals. And I'm sure that's very helpful for you, Fiona, when you're talking about the number of calls and who's calling. Data supports focused decisions to achieve a more effective results. Data helps you identify your ideal markets and target specific audiences. And that sounds like something you're doing as well, Fiona. You just mentioned that. Increase your revenue and decrease your cost. Monitor your social media. Data analytics can tell you, how you're trending or what your web presence is. We used a tool at Google Analytics, or I think it was a Google tool. My marketing person at the chamber, we had a tool that anytime the chamber was mentioned, or I was mentioned, or any of the staff was mentioned at the chamber, we knew immediately. It sent us an alert so that we could get ahead of anything that might be in the media, or anything that was, that where the chamber had been mentioned as far as related to a business. It was always good to kind of be ahead of that. We didn't have a lot to worry about, but we wanted to know first if our name had been mentioned in the newspaper or out there. So that was a useful tool that the chamber used. So anybody else have any other information about collecting data or recently collected data that was helpful in your business that you want to share? All right.
Yeah, believe it or not, LinkedIn, they have a great analytics setup. So you can see who all you've contacted, how many are researching you, where they're from, what kind of companies they work at. I find it a very helpful tool because it can give you so much information in one location.
Do you have to be a member?
Extra for that? Do you pay extra for that service?
No.
With LinkedIn?
Well, actually, you do have to pay. John opted for me to have the extra benefit so I can see everything.
Premium?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's a premium, okay.
Mm-hmm. It works great. I would highly recommend it because I can actually see if someone's researching me, what they're reading, that kind of thing.
I have that too on my phone. Anyone who has looked at my LinkedIn profile, or I also get analytics that says what searches I've been in for the last week. What search has pulled over my information. So yeah, that's a really helpful tool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And then I noticed people even that I worked with years ago, and I haven't really had connection with them. All of a sudden I'll see they looked at my profile. I'm like, oh, then I remember, I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to Les in years. And then I'll reach out to them, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, that is a great tool. It's a great tool to kind of know who is looking at your profile on LinkedIn. So, and then there are tools within Facebook and the other platforms as well that you can use to monitor how many people, how many new likes you have on something, or how many likes. So those are data storage. So everyone is talking about moving to the cloud, and why should we care about storing our data in the cloud? Well, it definitely gives you speed and advantage, the same advantage that a large business would have. And it also, some of the other benefits of looking at the cloud for storage would be the access to you can have access to your data. If you have access, can have access to your data anywhere in the world. You can perform your backups automatically. You can store unlimited amounts. I mean, if we think back to the days whenever we stored information in a filing cabinet, then we would have to get another filing cabinet. And then we moved to multiple storage devices. That was 10 years ago. Companies had to have large storage devices to keep their data. And then another, you can collaborate on single documents in real time using cloud and data. So another great tool for, using technology for your business. And you mentioned MailChimp a few seconds ago, Kelly. I wanted to kind of expand on that. So technology can certainly increase your digital marketing and how easy it is to put together a marketing campaign. So some of the tools that I mentioned here Or, I mean, again, I have a great website. I think that is, because on your business card, I'm sure you probably have your website, so you can put a ton of information on your website. So that is a great marketing tool, your website. It is your front door to your business. So, and then social media, plenty of opportunities to use social media for a marketing campaign. Video blogs, a lot of, people they're busy. No one has time to read, 5 paragraphs. When I get an email that has 5 paragraphs in it, I'm like, yikes, I'm not sure I have time to read this right now. I don't have time. I'll put it aside and come back to it, right? But videos, to do a video and put it on your website. The introductions that we usually use at TAN, that would be great to record that in a video and put it on your website. Because people are quick. They want information quick. And so that is a great way to share your information. You mentioned MailChimp, Kelly. That is a great marketing tool. And you can put together that email campaign and then look at how many people opened it, and who didn't open it. You can see who has unsubscribed from your mailing list that who have subscribed using, and who may have unsubscribed from your mailing list. Constant Contact is another one, much like MailChimp. Used both of them. I don't like one over the other, but we do use MailChimp at the Tech Council, and that gives us an opportunity to target audiences. Not everyone is interested in women in technology group, but they may be interested in cybersecurity, or they may be interested in the big data group. And of course, we use that to just highlight our members. So that's a great tool to send out a mass email marketing. And I threw on here Canva because I recently used Canva, or I had to actually learn Canva when our marketing manager moved on. We've since hired a new gal who's amazing in Canva, but I had a chance to kind of use Canva, and now I'm using Canva to design documents and campaigns, and then using MailChimp to send them out. So I threw Canva on there just as a tool. I know there's others. I only threw that one on because it was one that I used. So yeah. What are some of the challenges that you have with marketing and marketing, using technology maybe for marketing? All right.
Well, one of the things that I help my clients with is just the learning curve involved with any technology. Because I know how to use all these things and they don't, right? So it's just like, well, let's just have Kelly do it.
That's good. Or it's good to teach them how to do it too, right? So
well, sometimes, but usually their time is better spent doing the thing that brings in clients or customers to their business, as opposed to learning a new technology and using the new technology in the way it's cheaper to pay me to do it.
Right, which is valuable. That is increasing productivity for their organization. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Along those lines also, especially social media, there's a lot of time involved in this. Really effective. You got to stay active, and that is, I'm finding, taking more and more of my time.
Yeah, definitely. It is. It's only useful if you have to be dedicated to it, and you kind of have to determine too what is too much as well. We do that at we try not to send out. We target our email going out, or our social media, or we target our reach for that week, because what happens if folks get a lot of information, then they turn it off. So our marketing manager is very targeted about how she sends the information out, and we make sure that we try to get something out on social media definitely once a week. We always have something to say at the tech council. Or, often it's 2 or 3 times. Another thing too is it's great to pick up what other people are sharing. So if a Fiona has an event or if Kelly has something that she's doing, it's good to pick that up and share that too. So that just helps everyone. So, and then speaking of communication is almost effortless now. I mean, you can pick up your phone and you can just press a button and you can voice text a message, and you don't even have to hit the keys. You can just say send, or you can say review and send, which is what I try to do, because sometimes voice texting doesn't always get it right. So communication is effortless now. I mean, we have a lot of platforms. We're using Zoom right now. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I hope I'm not cutting out. Zoom doesn't always work that great for me. We use Microsoft Teams a lot at the Tech Council. And Teams has some features that are, I find, helpful. One being, even after you finish that Teams call, you can still go back to that group and you can send messages through chat and they'll all get that. So, and that's happening right now. I actually left another group and those messages are coming in on my computer where folks are actually using that Teams chat to continue their conversation. And you can also upload documents. You can create a team within Microsoft Teams and have documents stored there and continue your chats. You can communicate with each other. So that's one of the things I like about Microsoft Teams. Zoom I like as well. Skype, I rarely use Skype, but I know a lot of other people do. FaceTime, that's more of a personal thing, but you could FaceTime a client, I guess, if you wanted to. I've accidentally FaceTime folks before, but do FaceTime. And then BlueJeans. Does anybody use BlueJeans or even know what it is?
Yeah, yes, I've
Yeah,
used it before.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
I had not used BlueJeans until I had to have a meeting with Verizon, and that is their platform. So they set up a BlueJeans call, and then I needed to, of course, download the app. So now that we've been in this virtual world for a while, and I mean, some of you are probably already meeting virtually even before we were kind of forced to do it for due to the pandemic. So what are some of the challenges that you've had with virtual meetings? Now we're all pros, right? We all know everything about virtual meetings, but
I definitely say the cutting out or not being able to see the video properly. Those are 2 big ones. If someone's internet connection's too slow, that would cause problems in that department, or their computer system is not quite up to par.
I would ditto that exactly. I fight having strong enough from home because I live up in Placitas.
oh, yeah.
And so some days are really strong. Some days I have to go audio only. And I have a large cable brought directly into my house. There is nothing further I can do. It's the infrastructure. And so I think that some of the other application challenges that we feel and experience are based upon the infrastructure, not actually the application itself.
Yeah, and hopefully some of the broadband initiatives can help increase that. There's a lot of focus on connectivity right now and increasing that all over, not just in the rural communities, but all over. So hopefully that. So does anyone want to share what their favorite platform is? Which one did you prefer? Teams? You like Teams better?
Teams is the most secure out of all of them.
And thank you very much for throwing that in there.
Yeah, if you want to share documents or anything and you want to protect your data, I would use that.
I like Zoom, and I've used it exclusively for the last 1.5 years now, or almost 2 years now. I like all the features that it has, and it has gotten a lot more secure than it used to be. A pet peeve I have about all this online technology is if you're in a meeting in a room with people around you, you're not going to put a bag over your head. So it irritates me when people keep turning their cameras off.
That's a problem.
I
That
don't
is-
think that's, I don't think that's right. I don't like that. And it's especially difficult when I'm doing my training programs.
Oh, yeah, yeah, no,
The cameras off and I'm getting no feedback. I'm getting nothing. You know, it's hard enough to get feedback this way to start with. So it makes a big difference. That's just a pet peeve of mine though.
oh, no, I think maybe, Bob, I know I've scheduled meetings before, and when you're just talking to a screen, and usually if I schedule a meeting with someone and they don't turn their camera on, I'll turn mine off as well. It just seems weird that I'm there all by myself in this meeting, right? And I can only see this little circle with your initials in it. So yeah, I kind of feel like if this is the way I have to meet with you, it would be, I mean, and people do that for a variety of reasons. Tammy, sometimes you need to turn your camera off because of bandwidth. Sometimes you just not, you can't have your camera on. But if it's possible, then yeah, it's nice to be able to see people whenever you're talking to them. So yeah, I think I share that with you, Bob, definitely, for sure. So, well, this is kind of the world we live in. So I think the tools, because technology does keep changing, so hopefully there will always be improvements. And even when we go back to meeting people in person, I think there's still going to be that element of hybrid. So there's always going to be that person that we need to make sure they have good connectivity as well. So, and then the next thing I just was going to just touch base on is for efficiency is web-based payments. I'm not endorsing or suggesting one of these is any better than the other. You've probably already heard of many of these, and you're probably maybe even using some of these in your business. But these are, nobody goes to the bank anymore. You can Zelle money to your friends using an app, or your daughters if they're like, hey, yes, I can send you, Zelle you money in real time in like the next 2 minutes, shoom, it's done, or actually seconds. But this is a way of increasing your productivity by using these web-based systems for payments. So, so with that, I would just say one thing: if you are using these web-based payments or these web-based payment systems, that you have a responsibility to protect your client's information. So you want to make sure that security is also a top priority. So if you're using those, you want to make sure that you've considered security as, as well, which kind of leads me into our next slide, which you couldn't go through a technology presentation without hearing something related to security, right? So, and with that, you have probably heard all of these. I'm probably not going to suggest anything that may be new, but just maybe as a reminder. So obviously we all probably have heard or read that cybercrime is up like 600% over the last couple of years. So with that, I'm just going to kind of run through here. Don't think if you're a small business that security is not a priority, because it is. It should be. So keep your software and operating system up to date. Obviously have a firewall. Make sure you're doing regular backups, maybe up into the cloud. Limit your employee access if they don't need access. If you have employees and they don't need access to the data, then consider why you would give them access. Two-factor authentication, say it.
Two-factor authentication.
Authentication.
I practiced that word so much. So, and for anybody who doesn't know what that is, you need 2 steps to be able to get into I had to do that today when I logged into Canva. It wasn't going to let me in. So I had to put my email address in, and it sent me a code. And then from the code, I entered the code, and then I was able to log into Canva today. So, yeah, so very important to be using that 2-factor
Authentication. There you go.
And then the last thing I would just say is have a reputable IT solutions provider do a cyber risk assessment on your system there are some excellent ones. I'm just going to mention one right here, Steady Network. She's right on here. She would be happy to set up an appointment for Steady Networks, and there are others. So, so just some quick reminders. And one other thing too, you know, you can check out the website for the Tech Council too. We've set up a cyber page of resources for businesses, small and large. Right now, our focus is on providing cyber tips to folks who are doing online shopping. And if you'd like, I'm happy to share those tips with you guys too. It's a 3-page document, but it just kind of outlines some of the things that you want to look at. I believe that's also on our website. You can check out the cyber page. But I didn't know if anyone else would like to add something related to cyber security. Maybe another tip that's been very helpful for you, or a tool that you're using.
Well, 2-factor is good. There's 3 steps. There's level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 would be no additional authentication. You just type in your username and password. Level 2 would be what she stated, would be like send you an email or something along those lines. But the level 3 would be the interesting part. It's something that you are. So my phone registers my fingerprint. And unless you have my phone and my finger, you're not going to be able to authenticate anything. So retinal scan or fingerprints or anything like that are the most secure authentication you could do. So they're considered level 3. I would recommend always having at least 2-factor and security for your username and passwords. The best program I can recommend for that, and it's free, you can do it yourself, is LinkedIn. Not LinkedIn, I'm sorry, it's LastPass. We use it at our office, and everybody secures their own information so that in case anyone got in, they can't access it. LastPass was actually hacked a few years ago, and it's the only one that was hacked that they couldn't get the data because it was all encrypted. They couldn't break it down. They couldn't do anything with it because it's just a bunch of gibberish. So that one is my preference. There's a bunch of them, but that one's the most secure from what we could find.
Thank you, Fiona. Anybody else have cyber tips to share?
I didn't hear you.
Anybody else have cyber tips to share? All right. Well, so with that, the last part of the presentation is in talking about being in this virtual world. I love what you said, Bob, there, you know, have your camera on. I noticed that no one else is using a virtual background today. So do you guys typically use virtual backgrounds, or is that just not something that you typically use?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I thought it would be kind of fun to, right now, I was going to show, there you go, Fiona. I was going to share a couple of, oh, thank you, Kelly. All right. And I just created some as well. So actually I created using technology and the virtual background. I created the Trusted Invite, the TAN conference room that we're actually meeting, like picture us in this conference room today, right? So, and if I can stop sharing, I might be able to just share a couple of others that I created today. So, hey, all right. So I created this. Another thing, I was going to throw this out there too. If notice that maybe you aren't using a virtual background, but I'll just note that this is a great way to have your logo of your business in front of folks while you're meeting with them. So did mine with the NMTC and the Christmas tree come up?
Can't hear you again.
I was just wondering if you were able to see the background with the Christmas tree and okay, all right. And you can change those backgrounds in a matter of seconds using Zoom. And actually you can do that in the other platforms as well. So there's my NMTC. I change it to this when I'm attending a Rotary meeting, right? And since I'm at TAN today, I'll use that one. So I just wanted to share that I think it's kind of fun to use those backgrounds. I don't think it takes away from, and one thing that I would just say as a benefit to your business is that you can have your logo right there in front of the person that you're meeting with at all times. So with that, thank you guys very much. I hope you'll consider, and if you would like a virtual background, I would be happy if you just send me your email. I'll create one for you and send it back to you if you have a preference. So happy to do that for you.
I'll
I'll
have a
email-
question.
Let me say, let me say something about virtual backgrounds. I'll be
Oh,
the,
yes, Bob.
the curmudgeonly guy here. First of all, if you're having problems technology wise, don't use the virtual background because it's just one more thing for your computer to process. The other thing is they can be distracting. And if you're trying to project an image, it can be distracting from that. And because, excuse me, there's technical reasons for this, but because of the way cameras and computers and all that interact, when you have that virtual background, you will have a tendency to go in and out, especially if you move quickly. If you move quickly, yeah, your hand may disappear or all of this, and that can be distracting too. Yeah, just because we don't have the technology to really do that effectively. So virtual backgrounds are fun, but be kind of careful with them, especially in a professional setting.
Right. And again, I would only use a professional one if I was doing I thought we'd go a little fun here, but you're right. I would only use the background that's professional, that has my logo for the Tech Council, and it's just a blue background. So
When I
actually,
do my presentations, I actually have a studio with it's also known as a guest bedroom, but it has I have a cloth backdrop, professional backdrop, and I can, in the program I use, I can put my logo up in the corner or wherever it needs to be, and I can change that and all.
that's a great suggestion as well. Well, thank you guys very much. I mean, I'm happy to answer questions if I have answers. If not, I can find the answers for you, I'll bet. If not, I'll turn it back over to you, Kelly. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, does anyone have any questions for Mary or comments? Fiona?
Can I get that really cool trusted advisor background that you made? That looked cool.
Yeah, I'll email it to
Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions? Comments? Okay, great. If there's nothing else, then thank you again, Mary, so much for presenting today. We really appreciate you taking the time. And everyone, have a great rest of the day.